Welcome back to the Dopest Show you won't get sick of. I'm Spencer, and this is my sidekick, Sasha. I spent most of my 20s in federal prison, but I've been off heroin since April 9, 2010. Got a lot of stories about the dumb stuff I did to get put in prison. I've also got a lot of stories about the crazy stuff that actually happened when I was in prison. And God forbid you end up in prison. You won't have to make some of the same mistakes I made. So, a few people were asking about, I went on, it was a few prison YouTubers, and I went on this chat with them. Went on there, and I keep it like Jeff Foxworthy clean on here, so pretty much anybody can watch it. But on there, I went ahead and I got gutter. I was like a white ODB, like a white Dirk McGirt on there. Just talking, speaking my mind, and sometimes I do it. So it's funny, but be warned, I do talk a little bit vulgar in that one. But anyway, on the Iranian terrorist that taught me karate, it's like just a couple videos back, I pinned a comment by Big Weavy. It's on his thing. It's a video, should be one of the most recent videos. It's long, it's like an hour and a half. I come in somewhere about 45 to an hour in. I pop up in there and I take them way down the rabbit hole. I mean, they're probably dizzy by the time they got out thinking, what just happened? Yeah, I do that. Mental health issues. Yeah. But anyway, it's funny. And Big Weavy, it's a good dude. He's from Beckley. Big old country boy. Man, reminds me of the people back home. We were just instant best friends. Subscribe to him. He's coming up. He's a funny dude. He ate a moth in one of his videos. Just ate a moth. Yeah. Funny as can be. That country accent, man, makes stuff funnier. But anyway, yeah, the Iranian wants the pinned comment, Big Weavy at the top on his stuff. That's how you can get to that. I got about 4 hours of sleep last night. I've been dealing with my insomnia issues. I need to get one of my 4 medications refilled. I take 4 medications just to sleep. I don't take anything during the day. It kind of has a lingering effect, but I can't take it during the day because I end up stupid. I can't take gabapentin in the day. I'll be like, I take it when I wake up and have panic attacks from my dreams. Wake up like wide awake 5 to 10 times a night. But anyway, I've had this insomnia fit for the past few days, and I was in my insomnia fit when I got on there. I was just watching, and I said, "What's up, Big Weavy?" Just in the comments, they're like, "You got to get on here," and I'm like, I feel like a prick if I don't do it. So I did it. I want to do some interviews with people, but on here, it's going to be mostly in person. I don't like the Zoom call thing. A lot of that doesn't come through right. I don't like the audio on it. It doesn't always work right. So I'm gonna take my extra money and put it into this to make it better. Like Pinto, I'm giving him a good handful. I'm gonna have to make him take it, but give him a good handful. I don't know if he's coming to me. If I'm coming to him, if he comes to me, I'll give him extra. I'm gonna have to make him eat that. I love that fat mother. That's my brother right there. I'm so excited about seeing him. That'll probably be a week after next. His daughter's sick right now, so funny dude. And the dude I was talking about, James, the one who he wrote that note on, so he had to go to medical, and they had to check out his butt because that note Pinto wrote on him. Pinto called him the other day talking Trey. If I can get them together, they made fun of each other. It's the funniest thing you've ever heard. Y'all will be rolling. And Pinto's a kingpin. Pinto's a gangster. He's a big old dude with a baby face, look like a kid, but he's a gangster. Got caught $1.2 million in cash, $700,000 in the bank. They had a DEA agent posing as a crooked banker for like 9 months to stop, his operation. Had 2 blocks. So he's the real deal, so I'll be doing that. But anyway, on with this. So when I was at the medium security, I sailed with the number 2 for the Pisces for about the first year. Then I went down to the drug unit, and I ended up with this guy, Bobby Joe is what I'm going to call him. It ain't quite his real name. It's pretty close to it, though. And he talked like this, and he called everybody honey. And redneck dude, everybody loved him, thought he was hilarious, but when you live with him, he get to where he picks it in. I had to, sometime every once in a while somebody acts like that, you want to give him a smack, line him out, and he get on your nerves. So, and there was the other guy, Gilman, who was in that cell. Bobby Joe called him Gilmer, and he kept following Gilman one day. Gilman did give him a smack. That's a funny story. He had it coming for a long time, though. But anyway, I had to get out of there. I moved out of there. I switched cells. I ended up moving in with Dickie, the fake Muslim crackhead I used to sell dope to on the street, that was so excited to see me whenever he showed up at the prison. I didn't recognize him. Last time I'd seen him, he was the clean shaved face and about 160 pounds. When I saw him in prison, he's a tall guy. He's like 6'1", 6'2", something like that. This 230-pound guy with a giant Abraham Lincoln sized beard. He looks like Islam Makhachev, Dickie does, but he can't fight. Comes like, Spencer, I'm so glad to see you. And I'm like shaking his hand, grab his hand hard, because I'm like, who is this? And he's like, it's me. And I'm like, you pretend to be a Muslim? He says, well, yeah, because nobody messes with Muslim in prison, right? And I was like, Lord. So I end up in that cell, and the Sureno who ran it looks like somebody straight out of like a gangster movie, like got teardrops tattooed, like sleeves, stocky. He had some extra weight on. He's probably about 200 pounds. Been healthy about 175, 180, but had muscle on, and he walk around with the scowl, strutting with a mean walk, with that mean I gotta look tough walk. I was good friends with him, but it's what it is. That's what it is. He always would put on that show. So anyway, a lot of people did that. It's so much. It's hard for me to, cause like I'm just me. Like I don't put on the act. If something comes down to it, and it's time to go. Then you bring that out. But just walking around strutting for that, I couldn't imagine myself doing it. I'd like feel like a cornball thinking about myself doing it now. But anyway, he fit the part. He fit the part. Like if you called Central Casting and you asked for some, a Mexican mafia or a Mexican gangster, something like that, they'd send him. Like he looks the part. He actually, I told him, I said, you look like Hector, all Fast and the Furious. That bald headed dude with the big mustache, that bald head mustache, bald head, clean shaved face, big old mustache. Okay. And he's like, yeah, he said, I know them. He grew up around such and such way. And he probably didn't. He's from Los Angeles, from 18th Street on Los Angeles. That's gang he was part of, but Surenos, falls under that in prison. But anyway, he's former shot caller at Lone Pop Medium. Sounds like there was some prison politics. Mexican mafia guy showed up, decided he wasn't paying enough taxes. He didn't do anything bad. It was just political stuff. And, that's what I heard. It was a rumor. I don't know 100%, but I mean, it would make sense because, how do you end up in Petersburg, Virginia, when you're from California? How do you go from Lone Pop Medium, a very, very serious medium, shot caller of the Surenos there, Surenos and Lone Pop Medium, that's a strong force. So for this guy to be the shot caller of Surenos, this guy has like that, that thing where he comes in there and just try to like, be a leader and all that type of stuff, and got this personality and all that. And we became good friends. He woke up every morning at 4 a.m., scrubbed the floor, scrubbed the wall, scrubbed the ceiling. And I'm like, dude, why at 4 a.m.? This is what we do. Surrender. We're militant. We do this stuff, blah, 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 this and that. And I'm like, dude, I get that. But we're in RDAP at Petersburg. There aren't any Surenos in the pod. You can sleep in, dude. You can do it. And I saw something click. And he ended up sleeping in late and stuff. I broke that habit. And then another Sureno moved in with him. Older institutionalized guy who'd been in prison 20 years. He started waking up 4 o'clock cleaning that cell. I moved right next door with my buddy Lucas Martinez. Lucas Martinez was making a lot of headlines. Right before 9/11 happened, that took the national attention off of him. But Lucas actually got some bad dope sold. About 15 people passed away from it. It's crazy. He got 15 years for that. They tried to give me 15 years because of a deal that happened in my apartment. Just because they said, well, it wouldn't happen if it hadn't happened in your apartment. And he sells it, and it takes out 15 people, and he gets 15 years. Anyway, I'm still spiteful about that. I had people lie on me and stuff, and that's going to get exposed on here. And it's going to be a thing. It's going to be in the news and everything else. When I put this out there have been a number of stories on me. It's been in the book, so there's a relative amount of attention on me. And speak at place, I'm gonna put the speaking engagement I have, it's in about 2 weeks, up on here. Watch me bomb out this time, you know. But sometimes, you know, I work a crowd. Sometimes it depends. If I'm on that day, I would have had sleep. But, you know, sometimes I get up there and I do it. Sometimes, and it's not as good. But anyway, so there's this guy. They got a leather shop in the prison. People make incredible leather goods. Kevin Crockett, a friend of mine, I need to get up with him. He'd be a great one to have on here too. He did like 17 years. He had never used a cell phone until he got out of prison. I mean, that's interesting stuff, but he's the most incredible leather worker ever. But there's this other guy, Ace. Kevin's friends with him. And he's from Virginia. And he wanted to get a gold chain. So he got his daughter, buy it from my mom. My mom's got a small business, small jewelry store. And she gave him a really good deal, like practically, you know, not making anything. This is a friend. I'm not going to try to, you know, make money off of a friend. It's not how I work. It's not how my mom works. You know, it's, you know, my mom pretty much raised me, you know, you got your friends, you got business, you got this, you got that, but, you know, you do your friends good and everything else. But anyway, his daughter brings it up, and she gives it to him, and he puts it on in the visiting room and wears it back on the compound. They allowed people to wear like a thin chain that's so short if it has a cross on it. I don't know why, because like they didn't sell chains with crosses at the prison, so, but they allow it, so it was an odd conundrum there. So if you could sneak it in, it was technically allowed. They let people keep that, but they didn't sell it. So I mean, I still don't know the ifs, ands, and buts about that. But that is what started this whole entire thing I'm talking about. There's so many things that I just randomly think about. I just thought about this like 30 minutes. I hadn't thought about this in years. Okay, so many random things. But yeah, made a lot of money off this. But anyway, my cellie, the Surenos, he's like, I was telling him, yeah, it felt good, you know, because his daughter, the whole thing, you know, and felt good. He got something for her too. He would make leather goods, the guy Ace, and sell them to people. He'd buy leather and then make purses, good hand-sewn purses, sell them, and he'd make money. He used the money that he'd been saving up from selling purses for a couple of years to buy himself a chain, and his daughter something too, which was really sweet. And it made me feel really good that I was able to help them get the best deal through my mom on something that practically was that cost, that made it was something special. He got to do something special for his daughter. He'd been in prison a long time, you know. It made him feel good. So I bring this up to Serena. His eyes, like, basically, he could have said, light bulb. And, you know, I'd been like, oh, Lord. And he's like, he do his hands like this whenever he talk. I got an idea. And, you know, like, everything was an act. Like, it was all like, he was choreographed. Like, he was, it's just how it was. Something else funny he'd do. He'd pace around the room talking about how he grew up hard. Everything was hard, and he grew up hard, and his gang went hard, and everything's hard, and I'm so humble, and blah blah blah, and we went hard, and I'm so humble. And I'm like, I don't think you know what humble means, my brother. You know, you've bragged about being hard for 20 minutes now, and then you said how humble you are, and you've bragged about how humble you are for the past 20, you know, odd situation. I like the guy, one of my friends, you know, good friend, but it was something I couldn't help, you know what I mean? So anyway, he comes up just playing. His girl's flying in from California, and he's going to have her come in the visiting room, and he's going to get that, she's going to get that chain. She's going to buy it from my mom. I'm going to go to the visit at the same time he is. I'm going to try to do a distraction, and he's going to get that chain, and we're going to sell it. There were a lot of high-level cartel people in our prison. There was this one little scraggly-looking kid. He looked like he was probably about late 20s. He had, like, a lot of the amigos wear a mullet. You know, the mullet's coming back, I know that, but the mullet's always been there for the amigos. That never left. This guy was from, I believe he was from Colombia, and he had a mullet, but like he was like all, you could see his scalp, like he was balding early. Odd choice of hair, and he was rich. His family would come see him twice a month. He had a wife that looked like a supermodel. You'd see this woman sitting next to him. You're like, what the? And this just a scrawny little 140-pound guy, but he was big up in it. Whatever, he was the man. Whatever. I mean, they're flying in twice a month from Colombia to visit him in a prison. Okay, yeah. He would hand the pills off people at pill line, and he'd have them all. It's gross stuff. I'll talk about it another time. He'd have this jug that's full of stuff he'd buy, and he'd just sip on it, and you'd see him eyes all But anyway, he wanted a chain. He wanted a big chain. He wanted to have bigger, better chain than anybody. Now, you can't have it too thick, but you get the chain longer, so we got him a long chain. Gold's expensive. I'm gonna let you know, gold's expensive. I got this back when it wasn't. It's gone up. Got lucky with that. That custom stuff is no good. That's terrible investment. But just like the chain itself, it go up in time. But anyway, it's expensive chain that he ended up getting. That basically we had orchestrated. So the chain went down to about right here with a cross that big on it. Now, that chain's way past the length that it says it can be in the handbook, which I'm going to get to later. So his girlfriend goes, sees my mom, gets it, tells me everything else, and he's telling me whenever we get there, you gotta present some sort of a distraction. So at that time, that's when we're going to do the switch off. She's going to take the chain off her. I'm going to put it on me, and that's what's up. So ultimately, my hussy ex was coming up at the time. So whenever my mom and my hussy ex would come in, I give my mom a hug. She'd go to the vending machines. They had these things like you buy like these awful little sandwiches and stuff. Put dollars in there, slide the thing open, get it. Terrible food. But they did have chicken wings. I like that. And they did have this one little steak sub, and it had a pack of A1. And I missed A1. Oh my God, I love A1. I love A1 so much. If you go to Europe, take A1. They don't got it there. I snuck some A1 in a shoe. You can't take liquid stuff in the airport. Back when I was 16, we got this bargain trip. It cost like $1,000 to send you to Italy and France. We were stuck 3 in a room with no air conditioner. It was a little bit rough, but I got to go to Paris, France, and we took a train to Rome. The living conditions were rough, but I got to see some cool stuff. Notre Dame, Pompeii, the ruins. But anyway, beside the point. So what ends up happening is he's in the visiting room before me. That's the plan. Everything's planned out. So he's in the visiting room before me. I go in the visiting room, give my mom and my ex, the hussy, a hug, and then my mom goes to the machines, and they allow you an embrace, a kiss and a hug at the start for, like 5-10 second embrace. Well, what I did was I went a little bit overboard on that, and I went, making out with her probably about 15 seconds to the point where they're like, "Oh, that's enough. I'm about to sit down," And when they did that, and it was cool guards working too. There's some guards you couldn't do that with. You get put in the hole over that. But these couple guards, they liked me. They knew me. The one guard was trying to get me to teach him chokeholds and martial arts. Want me to show him on him, and I'm like, I can see how this is going to go. Because when you go in the visiting room, before you go in the visiting room, when you first go in, you have to walk from your building across the compound. You walk through this door. When you walk through the door, you're in this area that's like, it's basically, it's a bathroom. You get strip searched in there. Okay. Lost my train of thought. Cases out front. Make sure don't stop this video. But anyway, yeah. Anyway. During that, when they called me on, he wanted me to show the chokehold to him in that room where they strip search people. I thought, yeah, a lieutenant walks in, I've got you in a rear naked choke. How's that going to work? I'm going to get sent to I'm going to get sent to ADX or somewhere, 10 years, and had me stressed out. And he kept insisting I teach it. He's a cool CO though. He's a cool dude though. I couldn't say anything bad about him. He didn't mess with anybody, wasn't with the BS, and wow, he also tripped out when he saw my sister. He's like, "Yo, oh my, what?" And I'm like, "What happened? Is my family okay?" "Dude," and I'm like, "What? You and your sister look just alike, yo." And I'm like, "Yeah, I reckon we do." But anyway, so when that happened, she gives him the chain, he puts it on. Now, when they shut the visit down, you can leave the visit any time, but if you wait till the end, everybody gets sent out and everything else. So the chain's too long to have. So what does he do? He wears the chain like this. So part of it's going down his back. And he's got it so it looks like it's shorter than it is. See how I'm wearing this right now? That looks a lot shorter, right? That's how he was wearing it, with half going down his back. But when I put this, it looks a little longer. This chain went down to here. I don't know how he got by with it. Didn't say anything. all in all, you know, he's taking more risk than me. I made about 500 off of that. He made he made well over 1,000 on that. That Colombian dude, the dude with the bald and mullet with the hot wife, bought it from him, and that was the start of us doing that. Did it a number of times, and a number of people got George. I really tried to help people out that my friends, especially if it was something special involving their family, or wasn't a whole lot of things to make you smile in there, and that was something that, especially Ace, that he'd give something to his daughter from in prison, purchase something for her that was special and actually good. It made me feel really good. But anyway, that was the one time, you know, I made the distraction. During the distraction, she takes the chain, puts the chain on, he wears the chain like this, so it's going down his back, and when they strip search, you know, got away with it, got that thing back in there. I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, you know, ain't no way I'm ever trying to smuggle anything through a visiting room. No, man, that's a quick way to get sent across the country. And the feds, they can send you anywhere for punishment or protection. And if you get caught doing stuff, you know, and jewelry, that probably not, but drug, it's in you Texas. They send you California from Virginia. They punish you by sending you as far away from your family as possible. And that's messed up. That's wrong. That shouldn't be allowed. There's nothing right about that. Okay? And they also punish you. The things they take away are your phone calls, your visits, your email, your communication with your family. An abuser tries to separate you from your family. People that inform on the prison and its bad conditions, oftentimes they try to restrict all their communications so they just can't talk. They have to use snail mail instead of email and phone and everything else. They are literally like they're the definition of an abuser. Like an abusive relationship, if you look at the definition of an abusive relationship, they try to restrict people from their family and isolate them. That's what the BOP does to people that they don't like. And big risk you try sneaking stuff in. But anyway, if you like the video, press the like button. If not, it's 22 minutes and 10 seconds of your life in which you'll never get back. My abs ain't too sore tonight. You know, I did those 200 reps last night. Oh, that was rough though. That was rough. I might do it again tonight. It's pitiful. I got a gut right now. You know, and I got the sickest I've ever been. Caught that thing twice. The first time I caught that, I did fine. I lifted weights the whole time. The second time I got it, oh God. Hey, I hadn't thrown up on the floor in over a decade. I'm always able to make it to a toilet or trash can. If I get sick, I couldn't make it. And it's just, and when I was able to try to eat, all I could eat were, you know, honey buns, stuff like bad food, stuff like that. Casey peeking through the window. 1 second, Swill. Anyway, that'll wrap this up. So I'll probably do something again like that. She getting ready to go see her sister right now. Her sister just moved back from. Anyway, that's not the point. If you like the video, press the like button. Check out the little thing where I jump in the thing. If you Big Weavy, if you go on the famous terrorist taught me karate. If you go on there, the pinned comments, Big Weavy. I talked for about an hour on there. Oh, I'll take you down the rabbit hole. You'll be dizzy when it's done. You'll think, what just happened? And I do cuss a bit, so I apologize for that. If you ain't into that, but you know, it's Sasha sniffing under the door. You hear that? I'm telling you, she's not this sleepy dog y'all think she is. We laugh so hard whenever we see that comment. She's loyal as can be, but vicious if she does not know you. That's why I got her. I'm a felon. Can't have a weapon, so got a German Shepherd. Sasha! Sound like a cokehead trying to sniff up the whole dang pack. Y'all have a good one.